Good day, everyone. I'm Thad Ulzen here with Bill Foster. We are the founders of the Tuscaloosa Africana Film Festival, which is in its 9th year this year, and we're happy to tell you a bit about the movies that we'll be showing over this weekend. Depending on which part of the world you are, you will watch these movies on a Saturday, or you may watch them on a Sunday.
And this is something that we came together to do because of our interest in films from throughout the black world, the African diaspora. And we've been doing this in Tuscaloosa yearly, but this year, because of COVID, we are getting into the 21st century.
That's right.
22nd century now. 21st century.
21st century. Don't get ahead of yourself. So normally this is something that people come to in Tuscaloosa in a theater, but because of COVID, like you're saying, Bill, this year it is virtual, and anybody, anywhere around the world can take part in this festival.
And people look forward to coming to join us every year for this festival.
This year we have the first movie is SNCC 2020, which is, a lot of people should know about SNCC, but don't, because SNCC is really where giants of the civil rights movement like John Lewis and Julian Bond started out.
That's right. And this movie was made by Danny Lyon, who directed the movie, the famous photographer, and produced by Pharrell Williams. You know Pharrell, the great singer, who's very popular all over the world. And it is really a great documentary with images from a world-famous photographer who happened to be a part of SNCC since the early 1960s. And he followed SNCC all throughout the South, took great photographs, and many of these photographs you will see. But also, we have some great interviews by Congressman John Lewis from Troy, Alabama.
That's right.
And you're going to hear some great comments and interviews about the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. We also have interviews there by Julian Bond. He has some really poignant comments to make about the history of SNCC and the whole background of the civil rights movement. So this film is a real jewel. I think you will enjoy it.
That's right. And, just to segue into, other aspects of the program, this program is going to have a lot of music. And even in the SNCC documentary, there's going to be a lot of freedom music, freedom songs.
Yes.
And our two other movies this year, the second one is Mama Africa, which has been introduced separately by Dr. Pam Foster. But again, Stokely Carmichael, or Kwame Ture, as he was called later in his life, was at one time married to Miriam Makeba.
Yes.
And that movie is going to detail Miriam Makeba's life in music and in the black struggle against apartheid in Africa and around the world as well.
And of course, we know Stokely Carmichael, or Kwame Ture, also served as leader of SNCC.
That's right. So, I think that there's also a thread of history and music in this year's program, because the third movie is called The Mali-Cuba Connection. And this is an interesting movie about a number of 10 young, promising musicians from Mali who were sent to Cuba for further studies in music. And I think in 2000, the original producer got together and tried to get the band back together.
Yes.
And the magic that they created so many years later is what we're going to see in this last movie, The Mali-Cuba Connection.
And this is a great movie because it chronicles the time of people's lives during the early 1960s and on, about what was happening in Mali, what was happening in the world. It talks about people's lives, and particularly the musicians, the artists.
And quite frankly, related to this is, this was done with the help of Salif Keita, the great Malian musician from the Super Rail Band, whose music really led to the genre that is now known as world music. So I think that, if you have never been to the Tuscaloosa Africana Film Festival, this year is the year to join us. Our sponsors include the College of Community Health Sciences at the University of Alabama, the Tuscaloosa Sister Cities Commission, Afram South Inc., and the Edward A. Ulzen Memorial Foundation.
And we're going virtual.
That's right. So wherever you are in the world, welcome to the 9th edition of the Tuscaloosa Africana Film Festival.